He could buy everything except a moment of time. Behind the empire of Microsoft stood a man quietly haunted by the question, was it all worth it? In the bright hum of the 1980s, when computers were still seen as machines for scientists, a young Bill Gates sat inside his small office in Albuquerque, surrounded by blinking screens and coffee cups gone cold. Every keystroke echoed with obsession. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing a future that no one else could see. Friends called him a genius, but genius has a cruel appetite. It eats everything else. Gates skipped sleep, ignored calls, and missed dinners. His girlfriend, Melinda, used to wait for him to look up from the screen, but the glow of the monitor became his only companion. The world was moving fast, but Bill was moving faster, and in that race, he didn't notice what he was losing. By the time Microsoft became a global storm, Bill had already built invisible walls around himself. He smiled at interviews, but behind those glasses were tired eyes that had seen more code than conversation. Success gave him power. Isolation gave him silence, and silence, sometimes, is the loudest sound in a genius's life. Decades later, when he finally stepped down as Microsoft's CEO, Bill found himself surrounded by quiet. No meetings, no deadlines, just time. The one thing he had once traded away without thinking. He started reading letters from his past employees. Some thankful, some regretful. One line stayed in his head. You taught us to work like machines, but forgot to remind us we're human. That night, he looked into the mirror and realized he had done the same to himself. The man who revolutionized the world had lived most of it inside screens. He had digitized the globe but had forgotten to live in it. He began revisiting his past, meeting old friends, talking to his children, and writing down moments he wished he had lived twice. He spoke at universities, not about coding, but about balance, about how brilliance can burn you if you never step away from its light. When journalists asked if he had regrets, he would pause. Regrets? Maybe just that I learned too late that time is more expensive than money. It was not bitterness, it was awakening. For the first time, Bill Gates felt like a student again, not of technology, but of life itself. Today, the same man who once built an empire now spends his mornings in silence, reading, walking, and thinking about how to make the world better, not richer. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation became his way of apologizing to time itself to give back what he took from others. He invests not in machines now, but in humanity. Vaccines, education, clean water. The new code of his life is compassion. Sometimes, he stands at the window of his Seattle home, watching the sunset reflect off Lake Washington, and thinks about the early days, the old office, the flickering screens, the sleepless nights. If I could speak to my younger self, he once said, I'd tell him, slow down. The world doesn't need a faster computer. It needs a wiser human. That's the paradox of intelligence. You see the future so clearly that you forget to live in the present. For Bill Gates, time became the ultimate teacher. He learned that even the most powerful man cannot rewind a single second, but he can use what's left of it to make the world a little kinder. And maybe, just maybe, that's how geniuses find peace, not by building empires, but by rebuilding themselves. He built the world's future, but spent a lifetime finding his own.